Welcome back students in second part of today's lecture. Here in this part we will discuss about Biot-Savart law. This law enables us to know the magnitude and direction of the magnetic field produced due to an elemental conductor carrying current. Okay, so if you are having any current carrying conductor, because of that conductor the magnetic field will be produced. So what is the effect of that field at a particular point? What is its strength there? What is its direction there? That we can conclude from Biot-Savart law. So let's see what this law tell. Now suppose this is one conductor and this is current I flowing in the conductor. Okay. So because of this conductor at a point P, at a point P, what is the value of magnetic field here? That we can conclude by Biot-Savart law. Okay, for that what we will do? We will first find out what will be the magnetic field because of one small element of current at point P. Then we will integrate it for the whole wire. As we are doing in all the derivation, the same thing we will do. We will first derive the value of magnetic field because of a small element of current, and then we will simply integrate it to find out the value of magnetic field because of the whole wire. Okay, so here you can see this is dl from N to M. This is dl, a small element of wire. Now suppose from this element at a distance r, this point P is located. So because of this, what will be the value of magnetic field? It will be equals to dB equals to mu naught upon 4 pi. Here why we have taken dB? See, because this is a small element of wire dl, so magnetic field also will be small, so that we will show as dB. dB equals to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl into r upon r cube. Okay. This is the standard form to write Biot-Savart law. Let's first discuss how this formula came. According to Biot-Savart law, because of any current element, the magnetic field is directly proportional to the amount of current, directly proportional to the length of the conductor, and inversely proportional to the square of distance between the conductor and the point. Okay, so when we, and also it is directly proportional to the sine theta, where theta is the angle between the current element and distance. Okay, so here in this diagram you can see this is theta. Theta is the angle between the current element and the distance vector. Okay, this vector is showing the distance between the wire and the point P. So this is the distance between wire and the point, and this is the wire. Okay, this is the conductor. Between them there is angle theta. Okay, when we combine them all, so because here proportionality sign is there, if we want to remove the proportionality sign, we have to introduce one constant of proportionality, and that we write as mu naught upon 4 pi. So here when we combine them all, this equation can be written as this equation. Okay, dB equals to mu naught upon 4 pi. Then it is directly proportional to I dl and sine theta, and inversely proportional to r square. So it can be written like this. Okay. Then if we put sine theta equals to 90 degree, so it will simply become I dl upon r square, and that will be the maximum. In that position the strength will be maximum. So this is the form of Biot-Savart law which we are going to use in further application to find out the magnetic field because of different shapes of conductors. Let's discuss some special cases also. If theta equals to 0, that means the point P lies on the current element. So sine 0 equals to 0. That means dB equals to 0. So at that time what happened? The whole magnetic field becomes 0. If theta equals to 180 degree, then also the whole field will become 0. If theta equals to 90 degree, then we will get the maximum value of magnetic field. dB equals to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL upon R square. Now, in next topic, let's compare Biot-Savart law with Coulomb's law. So, first we will look at the differences and then we will look at the similarities. So, first see what is the first difference. In Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field is produced by a vector source. Okay, the magnetic field here is produced because of current element, and that current is flowing in a particular direction. So that means the magnetic field is produced by a vector source. But in case of Coulomb's law, you can see first point here that electrostatic field is produced by a scalar source, namely the electric charge. So electric field is produced when the charge particle is at rest, it is not moving. So that means it is the scalar source. Okay. So first difference is what? That Biot-Savart law, here the source is vector, and in Coulomb's law, here the source is scalar. Then second point in Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field at a point is perpendicular to the plane containing the displacement vector and the current element. Okay, the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane. Now suppose on a paper, if we take the displacement vector and the current element, so the direction of magnetic field will be in such a way that you can imagine that it is coming out from the paper. Whereas in case of electrostatic field, the field due to an electric charge at a point is along the displacement vector joining the source and the field point. Okay, if two charge particles are there and we have to find out the Coulomb force between that two particles, so that force will be in a line joining the two particles on the same plane. Okay, but in case of Biot-Savart law, it is coming out from the plane of paper. Then see the third difference. The magnetic field at a point due to a current element depends upon the angle between IDL and R. But in case of Coulomb's law, there is no role of any angle. It simply depends upon the distance between the two charged particles. These were the differences. Now look at some similarities. So first similarity here is that both the Biot-Savart law and Coulomb's law, they obey inverse square law. That means they both depends on the distance between the source and the test point. Okay, they both are inversely proportional to the square of distance, and they both are long range force. And second similarity is that both obey the principle of superposition. It is because the magnetic field is linearly related to the source and the electrostatic field is linearly related to its source. So both of them are linearly related to their source charges or their source vector. So that's why they both obey the principle of superposition. So I hope now you have understood what is Biot-Savart law. In next topics, we will discuss the application of Biot-Savart law. Till then, goodbye, take care and do some productive work.